Hey, this is Newman. Just by myself this time for another wrestling review podcast for Guys Night Movies. And I just got done seeing WWE Fastlane. Unfortunately, Rashawn and Corey were busy today, so just a solo review this time. I guess we'll get right into it. It wasn't really a good pay-per-view at all. Like, I usually don't really bash anything. I always try to look at the positives and everything, movies, wrestling, whatever. But I don't know, this just really was not a good pay-per-view. Like, once again, SmackDown kills Raw in the individual pay-per-views. This just felt like an extended edition of Raw with no commercials. It didn't have that special pay-per-view feel. But I guess we'll get into the matches. I had the quick results, just to refresh my memory because it wasn't really a memorable pay per view. The first opening match was Samoa Joe versus Sami Zayn. Pretty good opener. I like both wrestlers. It was a good fast pace. I kind of figured this would be the opener to get the crowd going. And Samoa Joe picked up the win in about 9 minutes. He choked him out at the end. It kind of ended abruptly, but it still did its trick. So far, Samoa Joe has been undefeated on the main roster. I'm glad they're giving him a nice push. Former two-time NXT champion. He's been in ROH, TNA. And I like how he's like Triple H's heavy. He's like his not bodyguard, but like he's kind of helping out Triple H. I guess I'll do individual match ratings. I'll probably go through this quick since it's just me this time. I'll give this match a 2.5 out of 4. It was nothing special, but it wasn't bad. The next match, and I skipped the pre-show, but supposedly Rich Swann and Akira Tozawa beat Brian Kendrick and Noam Dar. I'll get into my opinion on the cruiserweights later. Next match was the Tag Team Championships. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson beat Enzo and Big Cass. Another just okay match. I'm glad Enzo and Cass didn't win because I feel like they should win the tag titles at WrestleMania. It'll mean a whole hell of a lot more than winning them on Fastlane. So I'm kind of glad they went with that. It was kind of like a screwy finish. Enzo had his foot on the ropes and Gallows knocked it off. Hence, they're going to have a rematch somewhere down the line. It was an okay match. Same, like, Enzo gets beat up the whole time. Big Cass comes in and clears house. There's nothing really that memorable about it. I give it a 2 out of 4, I guess, just to be somewhat nice. The next match was Sasha Banks and Nia Jax. Another, like, pointless filler match. We've already seen this match before. I think it was on the Royal Rumble pre-show, I believe. I could be wrong on that. I don't watch the pre-shows anymore. It's just an unnecessary hour, and then for WrestleMania, it's 2 hours. Just too, like, quality over quantity, Vince. I don't think he's ever gonna get that. But I'm actually surprised Sasha Banks won with the like weird bridged out pin at the end. But I'm happy she won. Because, in my opinion, Sasha Banks should still be the women's champion. Like, they've ruined that, going back and forth with Charlotte too much. To me, she's the complete package. Personality, looks, wrestling skills. She's over with the crowd. Merchandise sales are crazy. It kind of looks like they're setting up maybe a triple threat or fatal four-way with Nia, Sasha, Bayley, and Charlotte at WrestleMania, which could be kind of cool. I guess just because Sasha won, I'll give it a 2.5 out of 4. It was nothing, a little 8-minute match. And then the next 3 matches were all like pointless, like filler, just like, why is this happening? They literally were just in there so Goldberg could have his like 30-second match at the end. They needed to kill some time. These matches are literally like, I'm giving them like a 0.5 or like 0 out of 4. I don't know what Jinder and Rusev complained to Mick Foley backstage, and they got these 2 random matches with Cesaro and Big Show. Cesaro beat Jinder Mahal. Cesaro should be main eventing. Like, I don't know, like those matches he had with Cena like last year were like off the charts. I think it was last year. During like Cena's open challenges. And then Big Show completely destroyed Rusev because it looks like the match with Shaq has fallen off of WrestleMania. I'm not really sure why. So I guess Big Show doesn't really have anything to do now, so they just threw him into this. But yeah, both these matches were, I'm giving them 0 out of 4s. They were completely pointless. No storyline behind them. They were just thrown together during the pay-per-view. I was literally on my phone the entire matches. And then it came to the Cruiserweight match. Neville beat Jack Gallagher. He retained his title. I don't know what it is about the Cruiserweights. The Cruiserweight Classic was awesome on the network, on the WWE network. Like, their matches were all, like, there was a bunch of, like, 5-star matches. I feel like they just let them loose, let them do whatever they wanted. And then ever since they got put onto the main roster and put on Raw, they just, there's like, I don't know, they just weren't being pushed anymore. The storylines weren't interesting. The focus weren't really on them. Like, they're kind of just on there because Raw is a 3-hour show and they need some time filled. That's what I feel like, in my opinion. Like, I wish Austin Aries just went to, like, the main roster instead of the Cruiserweights. Like, he's going to be wasted on there. Like, I don't know. I just feel like there's no, like, their match was okay. I'll give it like a 2 out of 4, I guess. Like, Jack Gallagher is a good character. They actually put some development behind his character. And Neville was a perfect fit for the Cruiserweight, so it's good that he's like the champ. It makes sense. But then again, I just wasn't emotionally invested in this. There wasn't really much storyline behind it. Neville wins with the red arrow. It got kind of good near the end, like a little back and forth, but not much you remember. The next match was Vince's Golden Boys against each other. Roman Reigns against Braun Strowman. Roman Reigns won. I'm guessing he won because he has to get ready for his match with The Undertaker. That's what I've been reading online. I don't know. They just don't use Roman Reigns right. Like, he needs to have his own identity. He still comes out to the Shield music, the Shield gear. Like, they just don't use him right. He needs to just be like a silent badass, like heel. Maybe give him Paul Heyman on the mic. I don't know how they would explain that though. Maybe when Lesnar's away, they could do something with that. But like, they're trying to make him into his cousin, The Rock, and like, nobody's ever gonna be The Rock because he's The Rock. He's a once in a lifetime performer, like him and Stone Cold Steve Austin. There's never gonna be anyone like them two. They give him like these heavily scripted promos, and the fans just boo Reigns. And if they're gonna try to make Roman Reigns the good guy against the Undertaker, it's not gonna work. But as for the match itself, like, they've built up Braun Strowman pretty good. So I don't know where he's gonna go after this loss. It kind of hurts him. Um, it got good once they brawled outside of the ring. They did the table spot, I don't even know what you call that, the shoulder breaker or power slam that Strowman does. He did it through the table. Like, that was pretty cool. The ending came from, I think, like a third or fourth spear to Strowman, so it showed that Strowman was pretty strong in the match. I'll give this match 2.5 out of 4. Like, I can't even get into the 3 territory with these matches. Like, they just really were not that good. But yeah, so moving on, Bayley defended her women's title against Charlotte Flair, and they finally ended Charlotte's undefeated one-on-one streak on pay-per-view, which I was surprised. I figured they would save that for WrestleMania and make it a bigger moment. But then again, I don't think people wanted to see Charlotte win the title right back like that, because it would have been a repeat of Sasha and Charlotte's feud. This match was okay. Went about 17 minutes. I'm looking on Wikipedia here. I'm kind of cheating. It's not like I timed the matches myself personally. But it was kind of like a screwy finish. I don't know if the crowd was really into it. Like, Sasha came out to sort of kind of help Bayley win. So I think they're going to tease them turning on each other, which they have been already. I don't know. I'll give this match a 2 out of 4. I don't know. Like, they should have just had Bayley win the title at WrestleMania. Like, in my opinion, like, the big title switches should happen on the biggest pay-per-view of the year. Like, Fastlane was just like a Like in my opinion, there shouldn't be pay-per-views between the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. Like it should just all be built towards WrestleMania, because then you got to worry about like these like Elimination Chamber, which was actually pretty good though, and Fastlane. Now you got to worry about like these two pay-per-views in between that could like change everything. So moving on to the main event, um, I basically called this Goldberg beats Kevin Owens in literally 22 seconds. Not even joking. I called this like weeks ago. I knew Jericho was going to come out and interfere because ever since they broke up on the Festival of Friendship, him and Owens, he hasn't been on TV. He's been at live events and stuff, like selling his beatdown, but he hasn't been on TV. I just thought they would do it in like a cooler way. Like literally the whole match was, well, technically this happened before the bell rang. Like Owens was just walking around the ring and like it didn't start yet. And all he did was play Jericho's music. It wasn't like he ran out there and like hit Owens with the ref turned or something. Like it was just kind of like his music hit and and then Goldberg hits the spear and jackhammer like while Jericho's music is like still on, and then it's over. Like that's all it was. We had to wait 3 hours plus for 22 seconds. Like I love Goldberg for like nostalgia reasons, but it's the year 2017. I tweeted this out. Like I don't think people like squash matches like in 2017. Like this isn't 1998 anymore. It's not really like cool anymore to do that. Like I get like that's what Goldberg's always been about. And in my opinion, it should have been Owens versus Jericho for the Universal title at WrestleMania. It makes the most sense storyline wise. It's been like the biggest build for the Raw brand, and now they're just turning it to like you didn't need a title on the line for Goldberg and Lesnar. Like they're big enough names already. You don't really need the title in there. And I'm going to be at WrestleMania personally with my best friend, like live in person in Orlando. So I'm just hoping that they avenge WrestleMania 20. Like I hope they wrestle more than freaking 5 minutes. I mean, I forget how long their match was at WrestleMania 20, but like it just has to be better than that. Then I'll be like somewhat pleased. And I'm guessing Lesnar is gonna beat him for the title at WrestleMania. I don't know if they're gonna have Goldberg beat Lesnar 3 times in the span of like, well, twice in the span of like less than a year, and then you count the WrestleMania 20 loss. I can't even really grade this match because it wasn't really a full match. Like, I guess it's cool that Goldberg's the champ. Even though, like, Owens, like, I feel bad for him. He had a good, like, 7 month reign, and now it's, like, over. Like, as soon as he dropped Jericho and, like, the comedy act and got serious, he lost right away. Like, they had to make him serious enough to be considered, like he was worth Goldberg's time. Like he was legitimate enough to like beat a guy like Goldberg, even though Goldberg is literally 50 years old. I'm not sure how old Owens is, but so I'll give this match like a 1 out of 4, I guess. I can't. I almost like want to DQ the grading for this because like it wasn't a full match, but overall, this was a really bad pay per view. Like, I know I don't want to come off as negative. Like, if you watched our Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber pay per views, like, they were definitely better shows, and we definitely had better things to say about them. And, I just feel like all the individual Raw pay per views have been, like, crap. Like, Roadblock, I think that was the last Raw individual pay per view. That was terrible, too. Like if you look at Elimination Chamber, like Bray Wyatt finally wins the belt in the chamber, Naomi finally wins the women's championship. It's like all this stuff like finally happened for like people that deserved it, and there was like genuine surprises and like good matches. And then like you go to Raw and it's like it just feels like you're watching an episode of Raw because it's 3 hour Raw, 3 hour pay per view. Like SmackDown's 2 hours, so it keeps it fresh. But that's a whole nother podcast, just like describing the two shows, like pitting them against each other. But all in all, I'd give this pay per view like I can't even give it like a 2 out of 4. Like I'll say 1.5 out of 4. Like it really was that bad. Like I was on the phone on my phone, like texting people and Snapchatting people and just like on Twitter, Like, I just wasn't emotionally invested. It just really wasn't that good. But yeah, so yeah, that does it for this review for Neuman for Guys Night. Subscribe to us at Guys Night Movies on all social media. And until next time, I don't know if I'm going to give a review for WrestleMania because I'm going to be there in person, but maybe Rashawn and Corey will. But I'll see you next time. Peace.